I just want you to know we're sporting our new aprons. You guys notice we have new color. I like it. Yeah, we got rid of the tan. It's boring. So we're going for bright. So you can find us all over the yard. So today's class is container gardening or salad bowl gardening. And I think it's a fabulous, fabulous way to grow greens and edibles without having to try to dig in our soil. A lot of it dug out in the soil or in the gardens. It's just that hassle. The other thing I like about the container, the salad bowl gardening, is I can put it right by my front door. So when I want greens, all I have to do is run out and get them. Because my garden, I have to go down 3 steps of 3 flights of stairs to get to my garden. Well, I'm lazy. And I'm tired by the end of the day, so I'm not as likely to go hike down all those stairs to go to my garden. But when I have a nice bowl right up by my front door, which is attractive, and I can use it to get my greens and my edibles, I'm much more likely to go out and do that than to go take the hike down the stairs. So that's why I like to do it. Ken and I are real into green smoothies, so we do a lot of greens in our smoothies in the morning mixing with fruit. So it's fabulous to have that right there, especially in the morning when you're trying to drink your coffee and do that. When you think of salad bowl gardening, you're going to start with the basics, which would be your pot and your soil. Pick a pot any size. I picked mine this kind of bigger because I wanted you guys to be able to see it. You can go a little smaller, depending on how make it as big or as small as you want it to be. You don't want to go too tiny, or you're not going to have enough root space to get a nice green top going up top. So once you pick the pot, the other thing you look for is good drainage. You can see my pot has good drainage. And that's very important, especially with greens, because you don't want them to get mushy and soggy. Those roots need to dry out in between your watering so you get nice oxygen, so you get good growth on top. So drainage is very important. Does it make it a little messy? Yes. I could put a saucer under there, or if it's on a stone walkway where the water's just going to disappear in the ground, it's not going to matter. But you want something with good drainage. So many times people go, I don't want it to drain through. I want to get my ground dirty or whatever dirty. And get a good saucer, because you want drainage is very, very important. The next thing that's very important is your potting soil. So we make the Waters potting soil. It's a great light potting soil. It's got peat moss, it's got perlite, it's got all the good stuff you need in there, and it's light and airy. I can go like this, and it's not making a huge, it's not going to stay in a tight ball. You want it to be somewhat loose, because that allows for good root growth. If you have a real heavy potting soil, it's not going to allow your roots to move out and grow out. So very important to have a good potting soil. Whether you get your soil ready in your pot, or whether you get it ready in a wheelbarrow, or whether you get it ready in a big bucket, it doesn't matter. The main thing is work with your soil. You want it to be moist. So when soils come out of the bag, on the dry side, you want to get it wet, because you want to have a moist soil to work with. The other important thing is the plants that you're planning to putting into your pot, make sure they're wet too. You don't want to put a dry plant into a dry pot. It's just an invitation for trouble. It's going to struggle. It's going to have a hard time getting saturated and wet. So make sure your potting soil is moist when you start. And make sure your plants have been watered so they're nice and moist. So your potting soil, the things that I like to add into my pot, whether I'm using it in my pot or tub or wheelbarrow, is the water. This is our all-purpose food, which is this one. This is a great food. It is a really, really nice food. It smells like you wouldn't believe. But it's a great food. It's got the cottonseed meal and the guano. There's no synthetics in it. So it's great to use in your containers. You're just going to put I just put a little bit in there. Am I measuring it? No. I know some of you have to measure. Have to know what it does. I'm start. You're gonna, in a few weeks, you're gonna fertilize it again anyway. So this is just kind of a start. The waters is a slow release food, so it's not going to burn your roots unless you were to dump the entire package in. And there are instructions on the front that tell you, but just a little bit in there just to give everything a good start. Kind of mix that in there. These are the Aqua Boost crystals. These are a great little product. They're a polymer crystal. So those little crystals in there, when they get wet, they swell up, they fill with water, and as they start to dry out, they slowly release the water. The great thing about that is if you forget to water one day, they give you a little measure of forgiveness because they're going to help keep things moist. There's also mycorrhiza in here. Mycorrhizas are great for developing good, strong roots. There are directions on here. This is one that I would actually measure out. There are directions because this is a product where more is not better. You want to use what it says. If you use more than needed, it'll look like a alien is taking over your pots because it swells up and it starts to push out and you get like this glue rising up. So just use what's recommended. So I throw that in there, then I mix it really good because you want it evenly distributed through your pot. Some people love to use bare hands, and normally I do, except for the fact that I just had my nails done. And I don't want all that stuff under my nails. So we have these great little gloves, $4, and you get 2 pair for $4. Can't beat that. But they keep your hands are still going to kind of get wet, but they keep the chunks from getting under your nails, which is kind of one of those things. So just mix that up really, really, really good. So now you've got your base. You've got your potting soil, you've got your starter fertilizer in there, you've got your Aqua Boost crystals. Kind of got it all mixed up. You can use your hands, use a trowel. The other thing about getting your potting soil wet is it helps it settle. So dry potting soil, once moisture is added to it, it's going to settle. So if you start with a moist base, you're not going to have as much settling in there. So I usually fill my pot half to 2/3 full. Depends if your pot's really deep, like this one's kind of deep, it gives you a good start. So you're not trying to add a bunch of potting soil in later and fill it. It gives you a good base. So if you have a shallower pot, you may not need as much in there. So then it's a matter of picking what you want to put in your pot. I chose the Bright Light Swiss chard because kale is a great, great nutritive plant. For those that want good calcium, lots of good vitamins, kale is a great one to use. When you pull it out of the pot, you can see the roots. They're all kind of wound up in there. What you don't want to do is just throw that in there like that. It's just going to stay like that. So you want to loosen up that root structure. I always call it massaging the roots, and sometimes it looks worse than that. I actually kind of pull these off. People go, oh, what are you doing? It's okay. Especially these ones on the bottom. They're kind of wound up in there. I just pull them off, and then I just kind of loosen the root ball. That's going to help that plant root out. It's not going to stay real tight in that root ball. So loosening it up. Now you'll notice in this one, there's actually 2 plants in here. People ask me all the time, can I separate them? Probably. You might lose the smaller one, you might not. If you use the Root and Grow, after you've got everything watered in, Root and Grow really helps with transplant shock. It helps encourage new roots. So if you are going to divide, make sure you're using Root and Grow. It'll really help them get a good start going again. So then you got to decide where you want things in your pot. You can build from back to front. So you have your taller things in the back, and you can move the smaller things forward. You can plunk your taller things in the middle, put your lower ones around it. It's kind of your choice. There's no right or wrong for that. I'm going to plunk mine in the middle. That's where I want it. When you start putting your plants in, you want to give yourself a good inch of room at the top of your planter, because when you water it, you don't want the water to go poof. You want to give that water some place to go. So give yourself a good inch or so of depth in your pot. So don't fill it so full that the water doesn't have a place to go into and then move down into the pot. You will get some more settling as you go through the season. If that happens, you can always just add a little more potting soil on the top of the plant, and that's fine to do. So I'm going to stick my kale in the middle. Any of these leafy green guys, this is romaine, red romaine. There's speckles. I love this one. It's so cool. It's speckled red. So any of these guys, once you plant them, they get a little more growth on them, you can start harvesting right away. The more you harvest, the more it's going to encourage more growth. So don't feel like you got to wait months and months for everything to fill in. You can start harvesting on this right away. And I always just start with the big outer leaves first, kind of pluck those first, and that way the new ones keep coming out of the middle. So I'm going to put a red romaine in here too. There again, it's a little bit, this one's not as bad. It's a little tight in there, so loosening it up is always good. You don't necessarily, you can cram these suckers pretty full. Some people are so worried about, oh, does it have enough room? Am I making enough space? Yeah, you are. Just cram them in as full as you like, because you're going to be harvesting off of them. Each one comes with a little tag, and you want to save the tag so you remember what you got, and what you're picking. It's always good. And so next year, if you thought, oh man, that speckled lettuce was amazing, at least you have a record of what you put in your pot. Sometimes people, they throw away the tags and they don't write it down, and they're like, it was green, and it had speckles. You're going, okay. And we're trying to help you figure out what it is, but keeping a record of it, that way if you like it or if you absolutely hate it, at least you know you're not going to make the same mistake with something you don't like. But if you loved it, then you have a record of it. So I'm going to put my shorter ones on the edge of my plant. I'm going to throw a parsley in there. This parsley's pretty darn good to mix in with your smoothies. It's good to garnish. Plus I kind of like it. This is the ruffled one, the curl parsley. So you can see how good a fan that sucker is. I'm going to pull these roots off the bottom. And it's okay.
Yeah, be over here.
And just kind of loosen it up a little bit. I'm going to stick it on the other edge. You can see I'm kind of putting it at an angle. So instead of putting it straight up, I'm going to angle it a little bit. So it kind of adds to the aesthetics of the pot. So this is going to kind of drape down a little bit more instead of being upright. Gives a little bit more pleasing look to it. It's going to help cover some of that big pot that maybe not so attractive. What's this one? Ooh, this is another. This is Toscana kale. I love this kale. It's great in soup. There again, it's just kind of too full on the bottom there. Loosen it up. Stick it in. Now, I want something kind of pretty in my pot. Like some color besides, these are pretty. I got the kale with kind of bluish green Swiss chard, has a real pretty red stems on it. It's gorgeous. The romaine has a nice red leaf to it. Very, very pretty. But I want some other color besides red and green. So this is one of those edibles on that list that Ken gave you. This is a viola. It is edible. Where's Ella? Ella was in the other day. She was taste testing. She was like, ooh, this one's minty. Ooh, this one's lemony. I'm like, sure. So you can put them in your salad. You have a real pretty salad going and you want to garnish with some of the blossoms or the petals, you certainly can do that. If you want to eat them, that's your choice. On that list that Ken gave, and I didn't think about it, but it's actually a very good point. If you have a lot of allergies, be careful what flowers you're putting in your food. So some of them you want to use just the petals, some you can use the whole flower, but if you have a lot of allergies, just be cautious. We'll put it that way. How's that? This is another edible. This is calendula. Nice, cool season flower. Does very, very well. I'm going to stick that in here too because it's going to sit on my front porch and I want some color in there as well, so it's attractive. Usually what I do is place my plants first. So I loosen them up. It's kind of like a flower arrangement. You want to place your plants in there first and see, do I like it? Do I not like it? If you don't like it, at least you're not committed then. You can pull something out, you can move it around if you want to move it around, but you're not committed if you haven't gotten all the potting soil in there yet. So you can just kind of place them first, step away, see how you like the design. If you don't like the design, you can always change it. So I got some more room in here, which is way exciting. These are beets. This is the bull's blood, can I say it? Bull's blood beets. Say that 3 times. I'm not a big beet person. In fact, I can't stand beets. But the greens are just as nutritive as beets. So I will pull the leaves off and I'll put those in my smoothies because they have, if not a little bit more, nutritive power, plus they look really juicy and hot. So being a 6-inch or a 6-pack, these guys are a little bit smaller, not smaller little root ball there. So if I just throw it in, what happens? It disappears, right? So this is one of those cases where I'll put it in last because I'm going to sneak it in the small spaces. But I have most of my big planting done. I know kind of where I want everything to be. So once you've kind of got it where you want it, situated in your pot, then you can start going in with your potting soil. Whichever way. I always use, again, if I'm lazy. It's okay if it falls out, if you fill too much, because you're going to be packing it down in there as well. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to fill the entire pot, but I think you guys kind of get the gist. So once I've got it kind of filled in, that's when I can sneak my smaller little plants in. So I've got a 6-pack. Kind of sneak it in there. Oh yeah, I like that look. Get some color. And the 6-pack is a much smaller root. You don't have as much forgiveness with the smaller root than you do with the bigger one. So when you're watering, make sure you're getting water on these guys so that they don't dry out. I'm just going to sneak those in there. Once I have it all done, I've got everything where I want it to be, you're going to kind of push down that potting soil. You're going to settle it so you don't have a lot of big air pockets in there. So once you get everything in, you just kind of sneak through. And you just kind of push down your potting soil. Make sure you don't want it packed solid, but you want it enough that you know you've kind of gotten the big air pockets out of it. You kind of push all your potting soils in and make sure it's settled. Once you've got that all done, you've got it settled, and you think you're done, best thing to do is water in. And this is where we use our start and grow. I think it's like 3 tablespoons in a gallon. Shake it really good. You're going to put it in your watering can, and then you're ready to water in. Your first watering is going to be kind of messy. You may have soil that kind of drips out of the pot. That's okay. The reason you want to water it in right afterwards is that the soil, again, is going to settle some more. You're going to get some more settling on there. You water it real good. Make sure you've gotten everything nice and moist. You're going to pack it down again, just lightly. It's not going to be a pounding or a trouncing. You're just kind of lightly packing it down in there. While you're doing that, you kind of feel around the edges. Is there any big holes? Did you miss a spot? You can also, if you want to do the middle a little bit higher, you can raise your middle a little higher. And then that soil will settle under there. You can put a little more soil in. It's not a fast process. You know, if you don't have a lot of time to work on it, wait till you have some time to plant, because you want to do it right the first time, because you don't want to have to go back and redo it again. So taking the time to do it right, packing it down, watering, testing it again, see if you have any holes in there. And if so, you put a little more potting soil in. Eventually you'll just have it right where it's supposed to be. Once you get it all settled, it's probably pretty moist by then, but if you have any dry spots, you want to make sure those are all moist. I like using a moisture meter, and I forgot to bring one up. A moisture meter is a really handy tool to have, especially if you're doing container gardening. Because a lot of times we'll walk by something and we think, oh, it needs water, it looks dry. And so you water it. But what you don't realize is maybe past that 4 inches where your finger was, it's sopping wet down below. So a moisture meter can tell you, yes, I really need to water my plants, or yeah, I got some time, it just looks a little dry. So moisture meters are very handy tools when you're doing container gardening. They kind of take the guesswork out of should I water, should I not water. They have a nice long probe on them. So they can give you an idea of how often you should be watering and whether you need to be watering. You know, a lot of times we all assume everything needs water all the time, and that's not necessarily true. So taking the guesswork out of it with a $10 moisture meter, well worth the investment. So now we've got it all set. You can start harvesting right away on it. You may not make a dinner salad for 12, but you make your own little lunch salad right away if you chose to. As the season progresses, you will want to feed, so anything that's producing flowers or leaves or edibles, they're eating a lot because they want to grow, they want to grow, they want to grow. So you might need to feed a little more frequently than you do out in the other trees and shrubs out in your yard. You can use the water's multi-purpose. Like I said, it's a slow-release food, so it's going to feed for like a month, month and a half for your veggies. If you want to use a water-soluble, this is Fox Farms Grow Big, so you're just mixing it up in a bucket and watering that way. You can see that. Some people prefer granular, some people prefer water-solubles. I don't think it matters. Go with what your comfort level is, what you like to use. This is another granular. This is a Fox Farm 745. It's just another one you can use. This is the Flower Power 54. This is not an organic product, but if you have things that you really want to keep blooming, it really encourages blooms, blooms, blooms. So because I've got a little bit of violas in here and some calendulas, I might use this every once in a while just to kind of give them a kick. It's not going to hurt the veggies, it's not going to be harmful for you, but it will give these guys a kick in the pants, kind of make them want to keep blooming. And then you just enjoy it.